The Indiana Pacers are going to make at least one headline trade this summer after a second consecutive down season for the organization. Indiana dropped 57 games in the first season of Rick Carlisle's tenure with the Pacers. It represented the team's worst record since all the way back in 1982-83. The real issue here is the roster construction. Pacers front office exec Kevin Pritchard pulled off a blockbuster deal ahead of the February 10th NBA trade deadline, acquiring Tyrese Haliburton from the Sacramento Kings for all-star big man Domantas Sabonis. The idea now is to build a core group behind the backcourt duo of Haliburton and fellow young guard 2021 lottery pick Chris Duarte. Meanwhile, there's continued rumors that big-name players such as Malcolm Brogdon and Myles Turner could be on the move. Enter into the equation the Phoenix Suns meltdown. Deandre Ayton is a disgruntled restricted free agent, and the Indiana Pacers could use some of their assets to pry him away from the desert. Things have changed big time since then. Phoenix was eliminated in the conference semifinals by the Dallas Mavericks after a disastrous Game 7 home performance. Ayton played all 17 minutes in that game, leading a further rift between the former number 1 pick and his organization. It now seems more likely than ever that Ayton and the Suns are headed for an ugly divorce after the team pushed back against signing him to his rookie-level max contract extension ahead of last season. Teams are going to be interested. It's likely going to come in the form of a sign and trade. So why not the Indiana Pacers? Here, we look at 2 reasons why it makes perfect sense. 1. The Indiana Pacers would have a core 3 by acquiring Deandre Ayton. Ahead of last season, the Pacers seemed to be stuck between bottom-end playoff contention and the broader NBA stage. If nothing else, this past season made one thing very clear. It was time to blow everything up and start anew. That began with the acquisition of the 22-year-old Haliburton. Despite the lack of the team-wide success, he played well in his short time with Indiana. So far with Indiana, he's averaging 17.5 points per game, almost 4 boards, 9.6 assists per game, and shooting 50% from the field, and a cool 42% from 3. At the time of the trade, most experts believed that Indiana bamboozled Sacramento by acquiring Haliburton. Nothing we saw from Tyrese in Indiana or Sabonis in California's capital city dispelled that notion. As for Chris Duarte, he started out the season as a legit NBA of the Rookie Year contender before injuries caught up with him. The Oregon product averaged 13.5 points and 4 boards on 36% shooting through the first third of the season. The dude has range. He can score, and he fits perfectly in the backcourt with Haliburton moving forward. For Indiana, the acquisition of Ayton would make sense on multiple levels. It would create a nice inside-out game between him and those 2 young guards. It would also enable Indiana to move off fellow big man Myles Turner after trade rumors have circled the defensive-minded veteran over the past couple years. Pritchard and company seemingly don't envision him as a fit with this new core group. The same thing can be said about player in Ayton, who boasts unlimited upside and has shown on the offensive end of the court more than Turner has. Deandre Ayton's career stats are 16.3 points per game, 10.5 boards, and he shoots 63% from the field. A sign-and trade for Ayton wouldn't impact Indiana's future draft plans. Remember, it acquired a future first-round pick from the Cleveland Cavaliers for Caris LeVert, rather than the team would build a young stud trio while still having the assets to create more talent around them. And to my second point, the Phoenix Suns, their hopes rest on Deandre Ayton's sign-and trade. Let's be very honest here for a second. Phoenix does not have the assets to pull off a trade for another star to team up with Devin Booker, and no one is giving up anything of substance for aging Chris Paul. That's especially true after his latest playoff dud. Suns general manager James Jones needs to dig in and find assets for Ayton on the sign and trade market. The good news? There's very few teams that can offer the 5-year, $172.5 million max without sending contracts the other way. This puts Phoenix in a great position given that it can match any offer for him. In a hypothetical DeAndre Ayton trade to the Pacers, Phoenix would be getting back multiple players who could help Booker and company return to championship contention. It would also be to potentially take some of the pressure off Paul as the future Hall of Famer enters the twilight of his career. Any deal would have to start with Myles Turner heading to the desert. While he's not the same offensive player as Ayton, the 26-year-old big has performed at a high level defensively. He can also stretch the court more than his younger counterpart. Turner's season stats are 12.9 points per game, 7 boards, almost 3 blocks, shooting 51% from the field, and 33% from beyond the arc. Just recently, Turner has decided to expand his shooting. That has included him attempting 4+ three-pointers per game since the start of the 2019-2020 season. If he can start hitting on those consistently, it would be huge for Phoenix. With Turner just set to enter the final year of his contract at $18 million, more moving pieces would have to head back to Phoenix. The idea would be to build up a deep roster after the Suns bench struggled big time in the playoffs. Now, enter veteran point guard TJ McConnell. He's proven capable of that bench role since entering the NBA as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers back in 2015. He's also a net positive on the defensive end, 12.2 defense win shares throughout his career. To make a deal work financially, the Indiana Pacers would also likely have to part ways with young forward Isaiah Jackson. It would be a bitter pill for Pritchard and company to swallow, but it would also provide another frontcourt presence off the bench in Phoenix. In return, Phoenix gives up a first-round pick in 2024 and multiple second-round picks to make this worth Indiana's while. I'm going to put the trade up on the screen right now. Now you see that the Pacers are going to get Deandre Ayton, a 2024 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks. In return, the Suns get Myles Turner, TJ McConnell, and Isaiah Jackson. So that leads me into today's question. Would you guys make this trade? Would you want Deandre Ayton here in Indiana, sending Myles Turner back to the desert? So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I'm kind of on the fence about this one, but I'm really interested to hear what y'all's opinions are. And tomorrow, I'll be back better than ever with some more Indiana Pacers basketball. But until then, like always, Pacers fans, I'll save y'all a seat. Peace.